Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable, the moderator of the presentation, the Honorable Advisor Professor Dr. Sultan Syahrir MA, the Honorable Co-Advisor Mr. M. Said Wijaya MPD. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudhillalah wa may yudlilhu fala hadiyalah. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh la nabiyya wa la rasulahu ba'da. Introduce myself. My name is Rintan Novia Safitri. I come from the 6th semester of G class. Here I will present my thesis proposal entitled The Influence of Close Reading Strategy Towards Students' Comprehension in Reading News Item Text. Okay, the first is the background of the problem. In the background of the problem, I will show you the originality of my research and the reason why I should conduct this research. The first, the originality of this research. The originality of this research is based on, first, the previous research that conducted by Sheila F. Baker and Lillian M. Seneri, entitled Building the Foundation for Close Reading with Developing Readers. And the difference of this research with my own research is the objective of the research, and the second previous research is the research conducted by Matthew M. Chacon, entitled Close Reading of Literary Nonfiction, the 3-column journal. And the difference between this article or this research with my own research is also the objective of the research. And the second is the reason why I have to conduct this research. The first is based on the previous research conducted by Yuni Kartika Sari. The result of this research is students have the average level 34% from 30 students. There are 19 students or 19 participants get low comprehension. Then there are 2 participants who get excellent level. It means that the comprehension of participants in this research are low. And the second research that become the reason of my own research is the study conducted by Laura Victor. The result of this study is this research was that students made statistical growth on their overall pre-test to post-test comprehension result except in an informational text. It means that the informational text or news item text still get low comprehension from the students. That's all my reason to conduct this research. The second, based on the problem, the researcher, I will limit my own research on the influence of close reading strategy towards students' comprehension in reading news item text. And formulation of the problem, I will know whether is there any significant influence of using close reading strategy toward students' comprehension in reading news item text. And for the use of the research, practically, the research will improve students' comprehension is in news item text. And for theoretically, the result of this research will give new information about close reading strategy. And for scope of the research, the subject of my own research is a grade 12 of senior high school at Raudatul Jannah Sidokerto, Lampung Tengah. And for the object of the research is the use of close reading strategy toward in reading in reading news item text. And for the place of this research is Senior High School at Raudatul Jannah, Sidokerto, Lampung Tengah. Next, the concept of teaching reading. Okay, according to Nasution 2009 on page 6 until 8, there are four concepts or there are four principles in teaching reading. The first is meaning focused input. In meaning focused input, the reader should have the purpose in reading activity. And the second is meaning focused output. Meaning focused output, the reading activity should relate to four language skills like writing, reading, listening, and speaking. And the third is language focused learning. The language focused learning encourage students to have strategies in reading activity. And for fluency development, the teacher should provide the familiar text to be taught in the class so that the students can be able or easy to understand the vocabulary contained in the text. And the next is concept of reading. The first is definition of reading. According to J. Charles Anderson, 2000 page 4, reading is an interactive between text and reader. And for reading comprehension, according to Day and Park 2018, there are six aspects that encourage reading comprehension in students itself. There are six. The first is literal comprehension. Literal comprehension is the understanding of students in the information about date, time, place, and etc. that can be found and in the text itself. And the second is reorganization. Reader should combine the information from the text like as the date and the name and the location itself so that the reader can expect or can from those combination, the reader can conclude what is the purpose of the author. And the third is inference. The inference is the meaning from the author that is not be stated in the text. And the fourth is prediction. The prediction is based on the event or the event told in the text. The reader can predict what will have in the future, of course, in the text itself. And for evaluation is about the reader should get the meaning or the message from the text. And for personal response is taken from the personal reader itself. For example, the opinion from the reader about the text. Concept of text. Concept of text. The first is definition of text. According to Peter Knapp, 2005, text is any completed act of communication such as a greeting between friends in the street, a television advertisement, a novel, or a film, and so on. And kind of text, according to Harris 2010, there are four big classifications of text. The first is narrative, expository, descriptive, and also argumentative. Okay, the next is complex text. For complex text, there are three instruments to measure complex text. The first is qualitative indicators, the second is quantitative indicator, and the third is the combination between in qualitative and quantitative. And for the concept of news item text itself, the definition of news item text according to Gerard and Wicknell is, it is a kind of text that informs reader, listener, or viewers about the event of the day that is considered to be worthy and important event. And for the generic structure of the news item text is, the first is the newsworthy event, and the second is the background of the event, and the third is the source. And for the language feature of this text is, the first story summarized in one sentence, and then the use of material processes to retell the story, and the use of projecting verbal processes in short stages, and the focus on circumstantial meaning. And news item text is considered as the complex text because of three reasons. The first is the news item text combine in the structure of this item text combine among prediction, compare and contrast, chronological, cause and effect, and problem and solution. It make the news item text complex, and then the news item text is created as the answer of the question that should be explicit explanation on the text. And for the third reason is, the vocabulary and the concept contained in the text is unfamiliar for the readers. The next is the reading comprehension in news item text. It is about the fulfillment of aspect in reading comprehension in each generic structure of news item text. And the next is the close reading strategy. Okay, close reading strategy according to Diana Sisson and Betsy Sisson is a purposeful rereading and analysis of short pieces of complex text. In close reading, there are two models. The first is literary genre and the informational genre. And the concept of close reading strategy, there are 10 procedures to conduct the close reading strategy. The first is identify the text, and the second, determine the purpose of reading. The third, choose a model, whether literary or informational text. And the fourth is decide how students will access text. And the fifth, complete first cycle of reading and present question or task, because close reading is rereading activity. And the sixth is provide time for discussion. And the seventh, complete second cycle of reading and present question or task again. And the eighth, provide the discussion again. And the ninth, complete third cycle of reading and present question or task. And the last step is provide the time for discussion. That's all the procedure of close reading. And the next is the hypothesis based on the theory explained above is whether there is no significant influence of using close reading strategy toward student comprehension in news item text, or there is significant influence between close reading strategy toward student comprehension in reading news item text. Okay, let's plan the research. This is the third chapter of my own thesis proposal. For the research design, I will use the quasi-experimental design because there are two classes to be compared. And the population, there are three classes. The population is 12A, 12B, 12C. And for the sample, I will take two from among three classes. And for the sampling technique, I will use cluster random sampling technique. And for the data collecting technique, I will use the pretest and posttest. And for research instrument is a test. And the research procedure, the first, I will plan the research. The first is I will choose the subject and prepare the pretest, and I will conduct the material and the preparing the post-test. And for the application, for the first meeting, I will give the pretest to the student, and the second, I will conduct the close reading strategy in the experimental class and use the usual strategy in control class. And for the third or the last meeting, I will give the post-test for the students. And the last procedure is reporting. In a reporting step, I will analyze the result of the test and making a report finding. And for scoring, I will use Arikonto's formula. And for validity and reliability, the validity is follow the textbook material of the current class. And for reliability, I will use the inter-rater reliability. And for data analysis, I will use statistic calculation through t-test formula in manual calculation and SPSS. Okay, thank you for your nice attention. That's all. I'm sorry for all my mistakes. And last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.